seems so unsafe, it's semi-serious. Spooky, scary skeletons are silly all the same. They'll smile and scramble slowly by and hide you till we say. Sticks and stones will break your bones, they sound don't let you snooze. Spooky, scary skeletons will wake you with a boo!
Devil's Hour.
And hello, everybody. Welcome once again to another edition of the Devil's Hour. My name is Jeff with the G, and for the next, hour or so, I'll be showcasing the weird, the wild, and the wonderful. How's everybody doing? You doing good? Cheers. I'm doing all right. It's been a week, kind of exhausted in a good way. This is my Friday for me, so I have a couple of days off, even though I'll be helping out some friends by working the door for a show here in New York, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Otherwise, it's just normal stuff. Yeah. So, how have you been doing? You been doing good? Of course, you know what time it's for, right? That's right, Fox News. I shift over here so that way my head's not on the fucking cube. Professional show. Let's talk about the Pandora Papers, shall we? For those of you that are uninformed, basically these are leaked financial records where the world's elite and all of their offshore dealings. Shocker of shocker, the richer want to keep richer and figured out ways to make it work. But in the Pandora Papers, roughly 12 million documents were obtained by the International Consortium of Investigative Journalists. And so, like, all these different news agencies have been pouring through it. Some interesting things of note. First off, Uhuru Kenyatta, who is the president of the third world country of Kenya in Africa, he has roughly about, $30 million in assets in Panama, the British Virgin Islands, all while his country is starving and half their shit don't work. Yeah. Or how about, let's talk about King Abdullah II of Jordan. So that country is in something of a recession right now, and they regularly take in billions of dollars in foreign aid. This dude has over $100 just in real estate alone, including like a $34 million like beach house in fucking California. But they take in billions, and they're in a recession, and they live in the desert where just not cool. Anyways. Now, when asked if there were any shenanigans afoot, of course, the elite just twirled their mustaches and tied people to tracks. Be honest, I know it was a crap joke, but I just wanted to do the canned laughter, and I couldn't think of a better one. But speaking of weird jokes, I guess. I don't know. This is really weird. So the Russian government is actually adamant about trying to recover some of their old tech, especially from their space program. And namely, they're wanting to get back the Burya, which is a shuttle-style craft built back in the late 80s when Russia was going to be trying to kind of emulate the U.S. at that time. This is actually the second of the shuttlecrafts. The first one actually was destroyed when the hangar it was being housed in after the collapse and destroyed it. And so this one still in existence, even though the program for shuttles has been down since like the mid 90s. So technically speaking, this is actually still a very important piece of, I guess, technology or history, because it's the only one that still exists. And it's what they say is like over 90, like at the time, because they never got a chance to fly and go into space. But it was over 95% ready to go whenever the whole program got scuttled. But there's a wrinkle in Russia regaining this piece of tech, because apparently it is actually owned by a Kazakhstani businessman by the name of Darian Musa. Right there, this guy right here. But he's going to be nice enough and willing to give up the spacecraft as long as it gets one thing. And one thing only. And that would be a human skull. And not just any skull, but that of Kenesari Kazimov, the Kazakh Khan. Who this guy was? He was actually the last leader of Kazakhstan, or area that is now known as Kazakhstan, who stood against the Russian Empire back in the mid-1800s. He did all this. That was, of course, before he got beheaded. So the story goes, chopped off his head, and they send it to St. Petersburg, because that's where they send all the heads, I guess, and because that's what you do. But so they have to find it. So for Russia to get all it wants, everything it wants, it just has to give a little head. Fucking dumb canned joke laughter. Ha ha ha. I still dig it. We're in Halloween season, folks. Isn't that amazing? Another spooky season upon us. I know some of you guys out there are looking to figure out what you're gonna wear for the holiday. Todd, stop that. So we're in the Halloween. So here's some fun costumes of which you can wear. You can be a rubber chicken. I know that's what you want, right there, to Mr. Todd Robbins. You want to be a rubber chicken? Yeah. How about a stick of butter? Stick of butter is always nice. Perhaps wrestling with a blow-up suit. That's always fun. Yeah, I figured that would be tempting for you, Todd. Rubber chicken. I think that would go over really well with McKittrick. You could also dress up as one of the operations people, and this actually looks kind of dope. Like a little snuggie to walk around in, getting stuff picked off of you. It'd be really fun. I can totally see people wearing this, being a tater thought. Hey. Perhaps the sexy Grinch. I don't know. Could be fun. Sexy Grinch. There's a holding meeting to infinity and beyond. And then finally, but not leastly, to keep this haunted in your dreams, is, of course, a little gender-bending Harley Quinn. But if you think that's weird, you should check this out.
Alrighty, got my phone. Let's go! My God.
What?
All-time low.
Yeah?
Takes me back to when I used to rip off my panties and slingshot them on stage with the boys.
Oh, wow. Why would you do that?
When the lights go off, I wanna watch the way you take the stage by storm. The way you wrap those boys 'cause you know it's what you're good at. The low road for the fast track. It was never a pace. Get the lights down. Cause I got your picture. I'm coming with you, dear Maria. Count me in.
Yo, Alex, look at this dude. Holy shit, what a maniac.
There's a story at the bottom of this bottle, and I'm a pen.
Yo, is that guy who used to slingshot his tighty whities at you on stage?
Oh my god, it is him.
Yo, dude! Yo, it's the all-time low guys! Remember you used to come to every show and peg Alex with your undies?
Jack, don't remind him.
Oh shit.
Dude, he's gonna do it again. Roll up the
Roll
windows.
the windows. The car's off! The car's off!
Roll up the windows,
The car's
dude.
off!
I'm trying, they're not going. His is out. Come on, I can't get it. I can't get it. No, 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 no! It hit me in the mouth!
Go! I love you guys!
Cause I got your picture. I'm coming with you, dear Maria. Count me in. There's a
You're welcome, everybody. We got a great show today. We got The Warning, Evah Destruction, Jeffrey Nothing, and all sorts of other weird shenanigans going on. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back. Cheers, everybody. For you guys wondering what I'm drinking, I'm having a kind of a blood orange vodka cocktail. It's actually rather nice and refreshing. I really like it. But let's get started with our first guest, shall we? Yes, I believe we shall. So let's talk about The Warning. So The Warning infused rock music with a much needed shot of adrenaline, like most rock music needs to. This is actually what's really cool is like this is actually a trio of sisters from Monterrey, Mexico, who charge forward with head spinning riffs, unpredictable beats, and sky-scraping vocals. You can definitely hear it on all their stuff, including they do their own take of Metallica's Enter Sandman on a thing called The Blacklist, which is pretty dope. And you can also hear it on this really cool single I'm about to show you now, which is called Martyrio. So The Warning, everybody. The Warning, everybody. So much good music there. I definitely recommend you pick up all their stuff and all your favorite download music sites. It's definitely worthwhile. You doing good so far? I hope so. As you guys know, when people who are longtime watchers of this, and if you're not, welcome. I like showcasing the weird, the wild, and the wonderful. That includes things like music, various variety arts, sideshow, comedy, all sorts of stuff. But I also like showcasing like really cool short films that people put together. And my new rabbit hole right now is the 48-hour films, which for people who aren't aware of that is in various cities across the country. They have these things called the 48-hour film festivals, where groups of people would get some prompts, and then essentially build a short film within 48 hours from like turning it in 48 hours later. And it's pretty dope. I've had some friends do it before. I've thought about it before doing it too. Still might. I mean, they do it every year. And so I like showcasing that sort of stuff like that. And so this is a really fun one. And so I hope you enjoy it.
You nervous?
I've just accepted it, you know. What do you think your chances are?
Your guess is as good as mine. You?
No chance.
Excuse me, I'm Danny Helder.
Paperwork. What year are you?
You're 25?
So you're applying for the life extension program?
Yes.
You realize this is your only chance to apply?
Yes.
Waiting room's that way.
What?
Nothing.
Do you think you're getting the extension?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you?
No. I have 3 children. I don't know what they fucking look like. I'm forgetting their names as we speak. Okay, I want to give me the extension. Do you know the criteria? Yeah. Are you rich? No? Well, they only give it to the little rich boys and the people who make the fucking test in the first place. So am I getting the extension today? No. And neither are you.
Danny Heldorfer, the evaluator, will see you now.
Sit. So,
your name is Danny
Helderfer.
Your name is Danny Helderfer?
Yes.
Alright. Alright. Well, my name is Gene Seiler. I'll be your evaluator today. It says here that you're on year 25, right? Which, as you know, precluding a 10-year life extension. This is your last year as stipulated by the government. Do you have any questions before we begin?
Yeah, so you'll be the one who decides if I get an extension or not?
Technically, you're correct. Shall we begin? What is the date?
November 24th.
Gender?
Male.
Race?
White.
Favorite color?
Red.
Sexual orientation?
Straight.
Do you like yourself?
Not usually.
What's your salary?
Actually, I get paid on commission.
What do you do?
Real estate. I mean,
do you think what you do is important?
I think so.
Why?
I help people and people
Okay, okay. Has anyone in your family received the extension?
My mother.
Are you close with your mother?
She's dead.
Did you find her attractive?
Excuse me?
Did you find her attractive?
She was a beautiful woman.
How often do you masturbate?
Twice a day.
Are you self-conscious about your teeth?
No.
Do you want some water?
Yes.
You seem nervous. Should you be?
I think so.
Have you ever tried to leave the country?
No.
Do you ever have any homicidal thoughts?
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever acted on... No. Are you an attractive person?
Yes.
Are you a good person?
Sometimes.
Do you value justice over mercy?
I think it depends on the situation.
What if this is the situation?
Justice.
Do you think you passed?
Hi, Boobdini here. Are you bored in the house and in the house bored? Well, we have the answer for you. It's the brand new burlesque deck. It will help you play with yourself while you're home alone.
Solitaire has never been this sexy. Ooh, Miss Orchid May goes right on top of Simone Del Mar.
Bored playing with yourself? Play with others.
Zoom has never been this much fun.
2, 3, war! War! Ooh, I have a seat now just slightly by Simone Del Mar. Yay! Hanky-panky. Not only do you get these 52 amazing playing cards, but we've included this, a cheat sheet of who the 26 performers are. Buy yourself a deck today. Cure the boredom at burlesquedeck.com.
So what did you guys think? Nice movie, right? I really dug it, especially with the idea of questions and stuff like that, as far as what is our worth. Makes you think, right? I really enjoyed it. Daddy's medicine tastes so good. I know what. Let's talk about our next performer, shall we? Let's talk about our next performer as actually an amazing artist that actually resides in Dallas, Texas. I'm talking about Evah Destruction. Is an extremely talented drag artist that was actually showcased on last year's Boulet Brothers Dragula, which was season 3. Fortunately, she came in 5th place, which is unfortunate. I've actually had a chance to see her perform a couple of times now. which has been very, very nice. It's been really, really amazing artist. And I'm about to showcase you an act I've actually seen her do live. I didn't see it for this show, what we're talking about, because this is from Bushwig from a few weeks ago here in New York, but I saw it before. It's okay, Drama Freak. It happens. Guess what? You're about to check out something cool and groovy, which is the amazing drag artist by the name of Evah Destruction.
This change, you can't stop me. Even in these chains, you can't stop me. Even in these chains, you can't stop me. Even in these chains, you can't stop me. I was a pop the time, there was a nasty little piggy filled with pride and greed. I was a pop the time, there was an eagle little piggy typical disease. You see this little pig is slowly becoming my own worst enemy. You see this eagle pig, she's a blah 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 fucking paranoid. Everywhere I go, you go along with me. Anything you get is up because of me. Everything I do, you do along with me. No matter where you run, you're gonna hide from me. She's got a hold on me. Maybe she's just what they want me to be. Even in these chains, you can't stop me. Even in these chains, you can't stop me. I want you to let me in. I want you to let me in. I'm in everywhere that you be. I want got nothing to lose and nothing to win. I want you to let me in. I want you to let me in. I'm already in these chains. 'Cause I'm the big dog, different than the gangs begin. You see, I am the wolf, and this dirty little piggy lives inside of me. You see, every now and then I forget which one I want and which one that I need. I have come to realize that both of them have become a necessity. And I have come to realize that every call with animal I choose to feed. Anything I say, you lie along with me. Every song you sing is all because of me. Anytime I cry, you always laugh at me. No matter what you do, you will belong to me. She's got a hold on me. Maybe she's just what they want me to be. Even in these chains, you can't stop me. Even in these chains, you can't stop me. I want you to let me in. I want you to let me in. I'm in everywhere that you be. I want got nothing to lose and nothing to win. I want you to let me in. I want you to let me in. I'm already in these chains. 'Cause I'm the big dog, different than the gangs begin. All this craziness, this can't get the fuck out of my head. I can't. Even with these chains, you can't stop me. Even with these chains, you can't stop me. Even with these chains, you can't stop me. Even in these chains, you won't break me. Even in these chains, you won't stop me. Even in these chains, you won't break me. Even in these chains, you won't take me. Even in these chains, you won't hold me. Stay the fuck out of my head. change, you can stop me. Even in these chains, you can't stop me. Would you let me in? Would you let me in? I'm in everywhere that you've been. Would you let me in? Would you let me in? I'm already in these chains. 'Cause I'm the big bad wolf, not let the guys begin.
Hi, Boobdini here. Are you bored in the house and in the house bored?
I've got that fever, man. The temperature outside. The closed door, the slow tempo. These blackbirds never fly. Reach down in your pockets, girl. Show me what you found. My notebook with all my lyrics. Hey, I never claimed to be profound. Show me that tatted sleeve. You gotta thrill me or inspire me. Tell me how you're writing them down. Let's go down to New Orleans. Voodoo, I put a spell on me. You do, I make the picture scream. Try to get the image out that you conceive.
Sideshow Hootenanny in New Orleans! Yes!
I don't know what you're talking about. Evah Destruction, amazing performer. Also the drag daughter for Louisiana Purchase, was also on Drag Race and like an institution in fucking Austin, Texas. And it reminded me that I saw that routine that Eva did. That was the last show I saw live in Austin before I moved here in New York, and that was an amazing show. And she's an amazing performer. It's a lot of fun. And in light of that, you know what time it is, right? So today I want to talk about Frank Gotch. That guy right there. Now, for you wrestling nerds, the name may seem kind of familiar, and that's because you're right. He's probably the person most associated with really the advent and start of modern day professional wrestling, and popularized it at the very least. He's like the Hulk Hogan of his day, to use a vernacular for somebody who's hugely popular. But the difference is this guy legitimate badass. Now I know what you're thinking. What does professional wrestling have to do with Sideshow? Well, really everything, because you see, that's where wrestling got started, was in the sideshows. There used to be these things called athletic shows, which would include things like boxing and wrestling, sometimes with people, sometimes with animals. But that was just one of the tents you could possibly see when going to sideshows and seeing these sort of exhibitions. But today we're going to be talking about people, and namely, I want to talk about this amazing man by the name of Frank Gotch. Now, Frank Gotch was born in 1877 in Iowa. He was just a small town farm kid who loved to wrestle. His first big break actually happened around 1899 when he actually wrestled a man. I'm just going to better picture him. For about almost 2 hours before being defeated. Today, modern wrestling has like 20-minute time limits unless specifically sold otherwise. Wrestle for like 2 hours. And this isn't like suplex, so like this is like grunting and trying to get the other person down to pin them. That's how it worked. It turns out that Man of 2 Hours Wrestling ended up being who scratch this and I'm adding this. So when he wrestled Frank wrestled this guy, the guy said he was like a furniture salesman from one town over. Turns out not true because of course everybody lies in sideshow and professional wrestling. This guy actually ended up being the American heavyweight champion by the name of Dan McLeod. And McLeod was impressed by this kid who could go the distance. And so he trained, he said, you should be a professional, like become a professional wrestler, like go around town to town and wrestle people. Yeah, that's what Frank did. He actually even went all the way up to the Klondike, so the frozen tundra of the North, at 1899. This is Alaska essentially, where he actually trained and learned that, and he actually was a champion in that territory for a while. Eventually, he wanted to come back to America because it wasn't America yet up there. He came back back to Iowa because that's where he's from, and he wanted to challenge the American heavyweight champion, which was now being the championship was being held by Mr. Tom Jenkins. Eventually, in 1904, he actually succeeded. Frank actually became the American heavyweight champion, which was amazing. He loved it. It was awesome. But you know what? There's also a world heavyweight championship. And that one was held by a man who is said to have been undefeated, who is known as the Russian Lion, George or Georg Hackenschmidt, who was actually from England, but he's billed as the Russian Lion. What's weird is the fact is it took some doing to try to get a wrestling match with Hackenschmidt because Hackenschmidt would do everything he could to duck fucking Gotch. Like anything from just like, oh, I'm sorry, my passport didn't come through quick enough, or show up and then, oh, the trainer messed up my knee, so I can't wrestle, so on and so forth. Well, they finally had a match. They actually did. They finally had a match in 1908, and there's a nice picture of it. And for all accounts and purposes, it was considered the match of all times. For 2 grueling hours, these two men grappled each other for a pin, doing everything good to do stuff. To be a point to make sure you understand as far as how wrestling happened back then, the fact is that they actually do a best of 3 falls is how it worked. So there were 2 hours on the first pin fall time period, just so you're aware. 2 hours, the first 2 hours, just them trying to knock the other person off their feet and try to pin them. 2 hours, no pin. Finally, Gotch got the advantage and was able to make that first pin. Also, during this time period, once that pin is done, they got about 10 or 15 minutes to kind of recoup, everything like that, and then start again. When it came time for the second bout, Hackenschmidt actually conceded the belt. He said he'd been tested to his limits. His body was exhausted. He could not go on. So Gotch became the world champion. Pretty dope, right? Now Gotch, there's him all look fancy. He became a nationwide sensation for the time. He did everything from visiting the Roosevelt White House. This is Teddy's White House. He also had a part in a Broadway play called Come to the Bout, where literally every time he came on stage, the entire audience would stand and cheer. He actually went to a Cubs game with his family before a wrestling bout, and literally as the game was done, and every single player would come to his private box to get an autograph. That's how big this guy was. And here's the other cool thing. He actually remained the world heavyweight champion until he retired in 1913. He's considered one of the longest continuous reigning championships. There's only been like a handful of other people otherwise. Notably, people like Bruno Sammartino, also wrestling great, or Lou Thez, another wrestling great. All amazing. But the fact is that, for nearly 5 years, he was undefeated as a World Wrestling Champion. So, yeah, pretty dope. Now, once he retired, he got kind of bored. So, while in retirement, actually, Gotch briefly joined the Cells Floto circus and offered $250 to anyone who could last 15 minutes without being pinned or conceding. So as long as they didn't get pinned or they got stretched and then of course had to tap out, that's what I mean. So 15 minutes. But yeah, Frank put up his own money, saying, anybody who do it, I'll pay you $250 right out of my pocket. And the entire times he did this, they never had to pay that $250. Yeah. So, pretty dope. Eventually he got tired of touring and then once again retired back to Iowa, where for realsies, or at least we're assuming for realsies, because unfortunately he died in 1917 of uremic poisoning, which is basically his. Most likely he had some internal issues and some bleed through from his bladder area. He got sick and died. Horrible things. But Frank Gotch, still considered a legend to this day. I think he's in the WWE Wrestling Hall of Fame. His claim to fame was a move called the toe hold, which is still even used now as like common parlance and stuff like that. So it's really, really cool. So yeah. We'll be right back. And we're back. Definitely pick up that book. The Roses Roll Midgets is an amazing book. I definitely recommend it. So those people who have enjoyed watching this show over time, so I like to revisit some of the people I had way back early on when I first started doing this over a year and a half ago. So I'm going to keep up that tradition. And I like doing that. And so today I want to talk about a guy that is actually a good friend of mine. I met him a few years ago in New Orleans. In fact, the very first sideshow person I met in New Orleans when I went to visit the first time at the Southern Sideshow Hootenanny was this man. And I'm talking about Hot Todd Lincoln. Really, really such a great guy. Such a great mensch. The old Jewish man, the old Jewish body. I chatted with him on the G-Spot a few weeks ago. Had a great time chatting with him. At some point, we're going to do a thing together. So it's going to be a lot of fun whenever that can work out. So yeah. So I'm going to showcase some cool videos that he did. And these are actually the first set of stuff he sent me. So check this out. Hot Todd Lincoln, everybody.
surprises, rain of surprises, rain of surprises early in the What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor early in the rain of surprises, rain of surprises, rain of surprises early in the
Is your bar looking a little ordinary? Is it lacking something awesome? Well, head out to your local liquor store and pick up something extraordinary. Grab a bottle of Old Humble Straight Whiskey or Old Humble Special Reserve. They're clean, smooth, easy drinking whiskeys that taste the way whiskey should taste. From humble beginnings to an extraordinary finish, Old Humble whiskeys are what your bar needs today. Walk tall, be awesome, and drink humble. Old Humble Straight Whiskey and Old Humble Special Reserve. Get yours today.
Hot Todd Lincoln, everybody. Wasn't that a lot of fun? Yeah. And if you watch his videos now, you can see how far he's even gone just in the past year and a half. So make sure you give a follow on all his fun stuff. You know who else you just talked about and stuff like that? Let's talk about our next performer, shall we? Since 1980. It's not a misprint, not a missaid. 1980. This next performer has been slugging around actually in the thrash metal and alternative metal scene. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about Jeffrey Nothing, who's actually worked with several different metal outfits before being one of the original founders for the band Mushroomhead. Mushroomhead, yeah. But now he's on his own. He's cranking out his own works and doing stuff like this really cool work called The Outage. Yeah, it's a lot of fun and definitely helps with the spooky times right now. So let's check it out. Jeffrey Nothing, everybody.
Assured
what you guys think. Of course, I'm going to show a video that has a bunch of sideshow pictures in it. Naturally, and a weird dude in a mask screaming about crazy shit, and a piano on fire. What's not to love? Did you guys have a good time? I had a good time. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching the show. I greatly appreciate it. But you know who I also want to thank? Oh, I have lots of big thanks, which I have the thing on there. Brought it back. Professional. So, first off, I want to thank, let's thank The Warning, from all the way from Monterrey, Mexico. Amazing performers. So follow them on Instagram at The Warning Rock Band. And then go to their website, which is thewarningband.com. Pick up their new record and pick up that single, Martyrio. It's a really good song. They have some other good stuff, too. And in fact, their Enter Sandman is dope. Really liked it a lot. Who else should we thank? How about Evah Destruction? Follow them on Instagram at Evah Destruction, or actually in all the social medias. I think it's Evah Destruction everywhere. Also, pick up some of their merch, which you just go to dragqueenmerch.com/collections/Evah, EVAH -destruction. Now, pick up some cool shit. I definitely recommend it. And also, make sure we thank Jeffrey Nothing. Follow him at Jeffrey_Nothing_official. He's a Jeff with a J. I won't hold it against him. You can also go to the website, which is www.jeffreynothing.com. And then, of course, pick up the outage on your favorite download site. And who else should we thank? Let's go with a good retro thanks. My good friend, Hot Todd Lincoln. Follow him on Instagram at Hot Todd Lincoln. Good guy. Lots of fun. Dope. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. As the world opens up again, my scheduling changes for the channel and how stuff's going to work between my work schedule and my social calendar, for lack of a better term, which comes to live performances or helping out people doing live performances. Like tomorrow, I will be at Freddy's Back Room helping out another performance happening like that. So follow my social media to know what's going on. And then I will let people know when I'm doing stuff here, or I'm showcasing stuff here. Like, assuming nothing's going on, I'll have a cool episode from Liz for Planet Lisdom, and then maybe a cool movie. I don't know. Anyways, thank you guys once again for tuning in and watching it. All you gotta do is be safe, be cool, be groovy, and as always, keep drinking, everybody. Cheers.